Okay, I'm back out here. After getting the rear brake working yesterday, I decided that I'm going to pretty much stop working on all the mechanical parts of it and try to focus a little bit on some of the electrical, like why this light is facing straight down. Things like that, and try to get the front forks cleaned up a little bit and check some fluid levels, check the seals on that. I think it might need new seals in the forks. I think it was leaking, if I remember correctly, so I'll have to check that out. This turn signal also is wobbly, so I'm going to address a couple of those small things right now. And I ordered a new relay for the blinkers. I got an electronic relay on the way. It should be here tomorrow, and that way I can, just get that off the list. But yeah, so right now I'm going to work on making sure this can stay solid, making sure the front one can stay solid, and do something about the front forks. So I'll update you if anything happens. Alright, so I figured out how the turn signals work and what's going on here. You can see this one moves quite easily. So when you pop it up into place, there's a little bolt right there. I can move with my finger, see? So a little nut. So all I gotta do is tighten that up, putting it all back together, and I'm done. So quick, easy fix on that one. I'm assuming the back one is exactly the same, so I'll do the same to it. And then we'll move on to these forks, which, to be honest, I'm not hopeful. I'm going to try my best to get this rust off of here and see how it performs, but I'm pretty certain I'm going to have to replace these tubes eventually anyway. Right now I just want to do it so I can get it for a test run and, ride it a couple times. And I know, the rust isn't in there grinding everything away at a minimum, so yeah, I'm just going to try to clean those up a little bit. That's it. They will get replaced eventually. So, alright. So I'm going to button this back up and then go do the rear one. Alright, so there was a little trick to this. It looked simple enough, except you can't really get a wrench in there. You can't get a box end on it because this thing's attached to it. And you can't get the open end on because you can't move it. So, I had to tighten it up the best I could with a pair of needle nose. Might be something that I'll have to keep an eye on and tighten up every once in a while, I'm guessing. That washer is kind of a lock washer, but since it's come loose once already, I'm sure it's probably going to do it again. I don't have any Loctite, but I might take this back apart and throw some Loctite on there and see if that helps. Just some blue, nothing crazy, just enough to hold it in place. But yeah, so there you go. Pair of needle nose gets it snug enough to where it won't move now. So yeah, just thought that was funny. Couldn't even get a wrench in there. Alright, now I'm going to move back to the rear one and get it done. Probably have to do the exact same thing, and then I'll start working on the forks. Alrighty, I got the turn signals resolved. Well, I mean minus the relay. I've still got to get the relay in, but yeah, I realized that I need to rewire the battery a little bit. It kept shorting out. I kept flicking the key and no lights would come on, and I couldn't figure out why. So I started tracing wires and testing them, and turned out that this negative here, the negative here on the battery, I followed the wire back and it was chewed up and about half eaten through down there at the bottom, and I guess just from me using it and moving it, it started to go the rest of the way. So now I'm good. I got good power everywhere. So got back to work on it, and I tried to see if there was something I could do with that flasher unit, the flasher relay, which is right there, by the way, on that little spring. I thought there was something I could do with it, but it's just not doing anything. So, and that light stopped working. I had to splice it right here. I'm still going to put my shrink tube over top of it, but yeah, I got to heat that back up and seal it up tight. So yeah, that's where we're at. All right. Well, we've got the turn signals addressed. It's definitely coming down to that relay, so I've ordered a new relay. We'll get a new relay. I had an issue where this turn signal light wasn't coming on at all, and I traced it back and it ended up being this connection right here. I got power to this side of it, but not this side of it, so I snipped it, put a new connector in, and then shrink wrapped it back up. What else? Got the lights twisted and nice and snug. Now they won't move around anymore. I think now, since I'm just kind of sitting here not doing a whole lot, I want to do something to it. So what I started doing was using some of this steel wool. This is the very fine, it's the quadruple aught steel wool, so grade 0000. I mean, it almost feels like you're holding a piece of cloth. And I started just kind of rubbing the chrome just to see what would happen, and man, it polished it up nice. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, it did real well. It's got a lot of rust pits in it, and you almost can't see them at all. So I'll keep doing that. I may even move up a hair on the steel wool number just to get a little better, because it'll take forever with the quadruple aught. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm just kind of, shining things up, and I touched up in here a little bit just to see what it would do, and I'm going to start getting the rest of it. And then I'm going to move on to the handlebars, which are just really bad. I may end up taking them off completely and cleaning them. But yeah, that's what I'm doing now, just kind of hitting up some chrome pieces and shining it up a little bit. Especially this rear end. I mean, this thing, this is so bad. This grab bar is so bad that it's almost like a yellowish green. The chrome is just gone on it. So yeah, now this looks like it's magnesium. I'm not sure, aluminum or magnesium. Turn the light around and maybe somebody knows, I don't know, but it just looks like it's not steel to me. It looks magnesium or something, or aluminum. So I probably won't use steel wool on that, because I don't want to introduce metal, steel to there, and it will start corrosion. Anytime you get steel against aluminum, and you can get corrosion. So I just don't want to do that. So I won't use the steel wool here. I'll probably use a Brillo pad or something and clean that one all up. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna get this all cleaned up. Try to shine it up just a little bit so it looks presentable. I think the next step, because I've got parts coming in, and I can't really do a whole lot with it mechanically until next week, until this weekend actually. So I think right now I'm just going to address some cosmetic things. Maybe start cleaning off some of this rust and just primering it just so it stops rusting. Things like that. And I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with the frame. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to take the bike completely apart and send the frame out to get powder coated or what. Because it used to, I mean, right here, you can't even see it anymore. It used to be handwritten right there, made in England. And the pinstriping on the tank, move my light a little bit. The pinstriping on the tank, that's hand painted from the factory. All hand painted. And it does not appear to be a clear coat on it. So, man, I want to save this paint so bad, but there's so much rust on the exterior of this tank. Like the front end here is just full of rust pits. I mean, you rub your hand over there, it feels like a piece of sandpaper. And then there's a huge spot here of rust. And yeah, I don't know if you can see those dots. I don't know if I can let me see if I can get the light down here. Yeah, you see all those dots? That's all rust. It's all rust. I still haven't pulled the badges off. Maybe I'll do that right now. Pull the badges off and see if there's any rust under there. But yeah, just rust everywhere. Everywhere, see? the whole tank. All those dots you see, that's all rust. So it's not so bad on the top for some reason, but definitely down around the bottom and around the edges. It looks exactly the same on the other side, just like it. So I think I'm gonna have to repaint it. I don't see any other option. I do have some of this stuff. It's called Extended Rust Neutralizer, and it says it converts rust to paintable, light rust to paintable surfaces, and I would consider that light rust. I mean, it's, you know, it's just tiny little dots. So I wonder if I can put this, just spray it on the whole tank. I'm not sure what it'll do to the paint though. That's why I haven't done it yet. Spray it on the whole tank. Let it it turns black once it's converted the rust, and then just clear coat the whole tank. You know, that way I save the original paint and I stop the rust issue. So I don't know. I have a paint here that has primer in it. I may even leave the rust because it's not truly noticeable. So, you know, I may sand it down with like some 3000 just to smooth off the bumps, and then use that primer clear coat to paint the whole thing. That way it's still, I save the original color, but I also, you know, cover up the rust with primer and clear coat, and it's not too noticeable. You know, I mean, it's there, you can see it obviously, but yeah, my issue is I just really want to save this original paint. So maybe I don't care so much about the frame, but the tank and the side covers are here, let me pull them. They're right up here. The side covers have striping down them also, but that's pinstriping. I mean, that's just, you know, somebody ran a pinstripe on it. So I don't know if it was ever painted gold like that, or if that's just how it came with the pinstripe. But so that's pretty easy to redo. I can redo that one if I need to, but I don't see a whole lot of problem with them. And it doesn't look like the cover itself is actually painted at all. I think it's just, that's the color of the plastic, black. So I'm not going to change that. What I will do is buy new badges for it. You can see the badges are just terrible. I found new ones for 26 bucks a piece, from England, of course. So I'll look at that and see about getting new ones. The other one, the other one, it's missing the pinstripes on the back, and that's how you can tell it's pinstripes. You can see the glue underneath it there. So that one I'll have to redo. I don't know if I'll just find some gold paint to match and to just hand paint it, or if I'll actually just put new pinstripe on. But yeah, that's down the road. I'm not worried about that. Same thing, I'll get a new badge for this one too. Of course, I'm going to save all the pieces that I take off this bike. For example, this goes on the front brake caliper here, right? So it's looking kind of pitted, and it needs to be cleaned up, but it's not bad at all. You know, a little bit of steel wool and some polish will clean that right up. I still need to find new screws for it, but that's easy enough. And then once I get that one on, there's one that goes, it's the exact same thing that goes on the back, that I don't have at all. I don't know where it's at. It wasn't given to me when I got the bike, so I'm not even sure I'll replace it, but maybe down the road somewhere. Anyway, there it is. She's looking good, getting cleaned up. I'm going to try to tighten that exhaust port. I mentioned earlier in one of my other videos that this exhaust port's leaking, and these basically just screw in. So what I'm going to try to do is just tighten that up and see if I can, you know, seal up that exhaust leak. If not, I'm going to have to pull that off, and there's a crush washer under there, I believe, that I'll have to replace. So that's not a big deal. Everything should be fairly loose now. I've put a lot of seafoam deep creep in it, so it should come off pretty easy. So I'm gonna see if I can just tighten that and stop the exhaust leak, and if not, then I'll have to pull it off. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm good. I'm ready to take it for a spin. by next weekend I should be able to have her taken, 5 days from now, I should be able to have it put back together and ready for a test drive. So that's where we're at. Alright, catch you in the next video.